Welcome to the Advance Your Art podcast, where we talk about the journey from artist to entrepreneur and everything in between. You've worked hard to hone your craft. Now take it to the next level with tips, techniques, strategies, and routines used by successful artists to grow their businesses and careers. Now, let's get started and have some fun with your host, Yuri Cataldo.
Empress, hello. Welcome to the show. How are you today?
Thanks, Yuri. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Of course. I'm excited for you to join me. So if I may, where are you calling from?
I am in California, in San Francisco.
Oh, great. So how is San Francisco these days?
You know, it's going. There's things happening. The city is it's turned into basically like a homeless shelter, unfortunately. And you know, we get them from all over the world. They all come because we give them so many wonderful things like free booze and cigarettes. Not that I'm trying to get more or anything, but or promote that. But yeah, there's a lot of homeless people in our city right now, unfortunately. So that's where I am. But I'm fine in my little sanctuary of my apartment, and I've got my piano, and we're enjoying our time together, my husband and I. That's what's been going on in San Francisco. Yeah, I'm going to stay positive.
Yeah, well, that's great. I mean, so I work my day job with a large tech company, and so I used to spend a lot more time in San Francisco. And
oh, nice.
Yeah. So
the Bay Area is like the hub for all of that.
All the tech places love San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, we're very innovative. We're quick to, we're kind of scrappy in a way. It's awesome because I kind of dabble in the tech and the arts world as well. And it's always exciting to be in the mix, and it's when you're in that bubble, it's kind of fun. And everyone's doing cool things, creating new things that are going to shape the world, so it's fun to be here. Yeah, that is a positive side of California.
It is.
Yeah.
So for my audience who is less familiar with your work, how do you describe yourself and what you do?
Well, I am a singer-songwriter under the stage name Empress. And basically, before that, I was a professional ballerina for San Francisco Ballet for about 11 years and transitioned onto the Broadway stage. For a couple years, I did a show called An American in Paris on Broadway, where I was an original ensemble member and then later got to do the lead role, which was really exciting and cool. And that opened up a whole lot of doors. And, going from the silent world of ballet into a very loud world of Broadway kind of opened up a can of worms, and now I can't shut up. So that's a little nutshell about me. Of course, there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears involved with all of the above, but for the most part, I am now, just singing and songwriting and composing and enjoying life.
Yeah, well, it's wonderful. So let's first let me ask about the elephant in the room. So
yes,
Empress, which
I know.
Thank you for calling it your stage name. So where did that name come from?
Okay, so basically, thank you for asking that question because it is a big, hot pink elephant in the room. Basically, I came up with the name Empress due to the fact that I, for the first time in my artistic career, felt like I was finally the ruler over my own life and my own art. And for most of my life, I was created on, and I wasn't really, you feel like you're creative, of course, but it's like you're the car and somebody else is steering it kind of throughout my entire career. I just felt like, being artistic meant something very different than it does for me today. And kind of discovering this freedom and creativity within myself and becoming kind of, if you will, the artist and the canvas and the paint and, there's like the creative behind it all. It felt very empowering, and I wanted to find a name that kind of embodied that, because I also really love the art of performing, and I think it's really healthy to kind of have a character that you're being on stage, and then you take off the costume at the end of the night and you become your normal self, and you kind of know like there's a boundary and a line that like, okay, well, I'm going to be performing as Empress today, and then when I go home, I'm not Empress anymore. And I think that's really like, as far as my experience in the ballet and on Broadway, it's really healthy to kind of have like a character and then take off that character and you're normal again, because you can get lost, I think, as an artist in the music world especially. It's like you're performing all the time if you don't kind of have that separation. So it was important for me to find a name, and then I could not believe that Empress was not taken. It was like, because my husband's an attorney, so we were like looking into it, and like, nope, there's a couple artists that have similar names, but they're not Empress. They didn't just plain old take Empress, which is, it's a big bite to chew. Let's be honest. Like, I called my music attorney a few years ago. I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick a stage name, and I want to get your honest opinion on this stage name. And I was like, Empress, and he's like, I hate it. I was like, great, I wanted an honest reaction. And I wanted it to be like, okay, that's a strong reaction. Great. Awesome. And he goes, why would you ever choose, a name like that? And I was like, well, I think it's really badass. It's like, I'm a female boss basically, and it's like, it's Empress. I'm not trying to rule over anyone else. I'm ruling over my own life and wanting to inspire others to do the same. And he was just like, and then I asked him a question, actually. I said, why do you think nobody's actually just gone balls to the walls and just called themselves Empress? He goes, what did he say? He said, no one has the balls to call themselves Empress. And I was like, great, that's exactly why I'm doing it. Because there's really never been an artist, like in my world anyway, from the ballet world, it's like, we're literally a visual art form. It's not, you're not heard ever, like we take a lot of pride in bashing our point shoes in to make them super soft and mushy so that they don't make noise when we land from big jumps. I mean, like we are a visual art form. We are not a sonic anything. We dance to music, but it's not ours. So, like, it's a loud name, and coming from the ballet silent world, it feels exciting and empowering, and I just want to inspire other people to take ownership of their own life and be the empress or emperor over their own, empire that they're creating, because really we're all the creator of our own happiness. And so, just spreading the empowerment. Here we are.
Yeah.
So that was a great question, and I hope I answered that, so that the pink elephant can go home.
Exactly. No, that's absolutely, that was absolutely great. So I'm curious then about that moment. So, I'm going to ask you about your career in the past, but you mentioned that there was a moment when you wanted to, I guess, claim your art for yourself, and that's where Empress arrived from. So what was that moment, and what did it look like and feel like?
Yeah. It was, to be honest, it was like, there's this one concert that I did where I'd been going back and forth with, should I throw away everything that I've done and like try to redefine myself as Empress or as a singer-songwriter? This is before I even called myself Empress. I was trying to figure out a way to kind of get away from the stereotype that I had kind of fallen into, and it was kind of frustrating, I guess, for me as a ballerina on Broadway, because everyone called me a prima ballerina, whereas when I was at the ballet, I was this Broadway star. So I could never be, just a ballerina in the ballet or a Broadway actress on Broadway. It was like I was always something else wherever I was to people. And it was super frustrating, because it was like, wait, I'm actually a really good actress. I'm singing better than people who call themselves singers, and I've never sung before. And, you know, I felt like I was really proud of that and not egotistical about it, but just being like real, you know, this is, I'm proud of what I'm doing. And basically, I was thinking that in order to become a singer, I was going to have to throw away my ballet and my acting training and all that fun stuff. So for a long time, I was thinking like, no, I'm just going to sing. I'm just going to, you know, play music and blah, blah, blah. And I went to this, I did this concert, and I decided to throw on my point shoes at the end and just see, like, you know, how the audience reacted. And it was like a very loud venue. As I went to college kids, and, you know, everyone, there was a million other things to do than like just stop and listen to my music for an hour. Basically, that's how it felt. And I put my point shoes on, and it got completely silent, like crickets. You could hear the clock, you know, it was like quiet. Like I got their attention, and I did an entire number like on my toes, basically, while singing. And then, you know, danced and did this whole thing. And I realized, like, I'm creating my own empire, and it doesn't look like anything else that has happened in the past or in the future. It's like there's never been an artist, you know, that came from my world. Like there's a lot of artists that say they did, but I'm sorry, there's, you know, being in the San Francisco Ballet or in a big ballet company for over a decade is like, you know, there's never been an artist that's done something like that. And I don't think anyone would argue with me by saying that. So just kind of create, and I hope I'm not coming off as sounding egotistical. It was just like, it was my revelation that, wait, I don't have to compare myself to anybody else. I don't have to throw away anything that I've ever done in my entire life because I should be proud of all of them. And then now I can do them all in the same place for the first time ever, really. So for me, I was like, that was so empowering. It was so cool. It was definitely, you know, that was the big aha moment that I had, where I was like, okay, I need to dream bigger than I've ever dreamed. And then I could not believe that Empress was not like a taken. I literally just got, well, I have a couple attorneys, but the trademark attorney I was working with like a couple years ago, he's like, you're not going to get Empress like that. You're not going to, there's no way that they're going to like let you, you know, trademark like that name, because it's such a broad stroke name. Yeah. Well, I literally just got it like two months ago in the mail. I got my little letter saying it's registered trademark under, you know, my personal name as Empress. I'm like, I own it. I own the name. So that's pretty special. So it took a couple years, but whatever. It was fun.
Yeah. Wow. So, so does that mean you be selling T-shirts with the name Empress on them?
Yeah. Now I can legally use the name forever. So that's cool. And if anyone else tries to, you know, take the stage name, then I have the rights to defend myself, apparently. I probably won't have to do that because, like my attorney said, nobody has the balls to call themselves Empress. So
right. Maybe a Disney
here
character.
I am.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Totally. But I feel like it'd be Empress, like with a name, you know, it's like Empress Mimi or something, you know. It's like, I don't know how I came up with that one, but okay.
That's
Give
right.
that one to you.
Right. Okay.
There you go, Disney.
Yeah. So I'd like to back up a little bit,
sure.
and talk about your dance life. So
yeah,
where did your love of dance come from, and what was that like from the beginning?
You know, there really is something upstairs like that has the master plan for you, because there is no reason that I, you know, from the small town of Lake Tahoe, California, and a family that has never done dance before, to have become a professional ballerina. Like there's absolutely no reason for that to have happened, but it did. And I think that there was some fate that, you know, was decided. It was like a destiny, basically. But I mean, because I really don't know how that happened. I think part of me is just like, yeah, I always knew I was going to be a ballerina. And the other part of me is like, how did I know I was going to be a ballerina?